Thanks for downloading the Swearing In Podcast, where you'll hear the origin stories of those who chose to serve. So ground your gear, take a seat, and listen up. The Swearing In Podcast starts right now. Hello, America, and welcome back to the Swearing In Podcast. I am your host, Marty Smith. This episode is part 2 of my interview with retired Air Force Master Sergeant Kevin Dunaway. In this show, we talk about his first assignment to Germany, his deployment to Bosnia, and the infamous Doofer Book. So I give you part 2 of my interview with Master Sergeant Kevin Dunaway. So you finished all that, right?
Yes.
Your first assignment?
Germany.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
you got to be excited about it.
I was extremely excited, and I was even more excited because I mentioned this before. Me, Randy, and Doug went through basic,
That's really
TAC P,
cool,
and we
man.
get stationed at the same exact
That is awesome.
place in Germany. And it was a little place outside of Frankfurt called Rodelheim, with the 4th Air Support Operations Center, which it was kind of a sucky first assignment for a TAC P because we're at corps level. And for people out there and understanding that we are in the rear with the gear.
Yeah, you're really high up there.
We were really high up there. And
so you really wouldn't get employed realistically.
Correct.
Unless we had a big theater like level 1.
Exactly. But the thing is that our job was to ensure the forward guys gets the air support they require.
Oh, okay.
So they will go through us for us.
So you're back more on scheduling, allocation of assets.
Yes, exactly. And that was kind of a sucky first assignment.
Yeah.
But you do learn a lot from being at the upper echelon of things. You do see the overall picture. But it was really, being with those guys was great. I really did enjoy it.
How was your Germany assignment?
I think
that's your first assignment, right? You're still not 21.
Okay. No, so no, I'm 20 years old.
Right.
So the bad thing is whenever I went to Herbert Field, I was 20 years old.
And you couldn't drink.
But in Louisiana, you had to be 18 at the time, so it's like I get to Herbert Field in Florida.
See, Colorado was 18 up until 87.
Yeah. I think I think Louisiana was like 91, 92 or something like that. Yeah. But when you get to Germany and it's like, can you reach the top of the bar? You're old enough
Germany,
to drink.
I thought didn't have any restrictions.
No restrictions whatsoever. But it wasn't that. I mean, it was good drinking all the beers and everything. But I think that as my first assignment, it was an eye opener for me to understand how you can actually look at everything within the theater and understand how things work.
Oh yeah, sure. You get that, tactical look at it.
Yes. So you actually had to readjust your mind of everything that you went through because you're gung ho, death on call, blah, blah, blah. And now you're sitting in an Expando van, getting, air support for people in the forward areas. And it was like, oh God, I want to be there. I want to be in the forward area.
Yeah, of course.
But so we were there, worked with so many great people, and they really mentored us. And now there was a lot of bumps and bruises along the way for me as a first term airman.
Oh, yeah.
It was, adjustment of military life and everything, if I can just say that I talked about my father before, and I didn't mention this before, but I want to mention it now. I have never seen my father so happy for me when I graduated at Hurlburt, and he saw the video of what we went through and everything. And I truly believe that was the first time I ever seen my father like really, truly proud of me of what I've done. But getting to Germany and everything, he was like, okay, you go into a different country. You gotta, keep your chin up and everything. And of course, there was a lot of personal things that were getting in my way when I was out there. Probably did not help the situation.
What did you tell me the 3 things you come back from Germany with?
Oh God, so they told us that you either leave Germany with one of 3 things. You either leave with a German shrunk, a kid, or a divorce. And I left with all 3. So that was, okay. Yeah. It's like I hit the trifecta on that one, you know. It was a rough time for a while. And I think finally I grabbed my niche on things, and shout out to Phil, Mike, Nagy, all of them. They really were true brethren within our, that helps you out, you know. And the Germany was definitely a very good experience for me. You know, there's so many stories I could tell you about what happened in Germany, and I just don't know if you want us to go into it or not. But
no, because I want to get, once you're done, you were there from 91 to 94.
That is correct.
Right?
Yep.
And then you got reassigned back to Fort Campbell.
That is correct. So this was right after Clinton was elected in 92. He decided to scale back the military.
Yeah, that's the BRAC. That's a base realignment and closure thing.
So they closed down.
Trying to save some money. Yeah.
7th Corps was closed down. They started scaling back 5th Corps. And they said, okay, we're closing down.
Did they cut you short in Germany because of that?
No, actually, I was there for full 3 years.
Okay.
I was actually there for full 3 years.
So it was just your natural reassignment back to Fort Campbell.
It was supposed to be a natural reassignment, but there was other people that were there for only 2 years.
Yeah.
And there was some people there for a year and a half, but they just couldn't say, oh, you were here for this long, so we're only doing the reassignment for these particular individuals. We're doing it for everybody.
Yeah.
So they gave me a choice. It's like, where do you want to go, Fort Riley or Fort Campbell?
Oh, that was your 2 choices.
And I was like, okay, I definitely want to go to Campbell.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go to Campbell. And I get to Campbell, and it was totally different from what I was used to, because I was at higher echelon.
Now you're back to ops level.
Now I'm in the 1st Battalion, the
101st,
101st, first of the 506.
Oh, you know? That's Band of Brothers guys.
Yeah. Right? And I was like, oh, this is great. Of course, Band of Brothers wasn't out by then, but I was like, oh, this is great.
Right.
And I had a great boss, Jim Burt. He was, and we still talk to each other and everything, but God, it was like I'm sorry, not the first of 506. Yes. First of 506.
And I'm not sure if that's Band of Brothers or not. Somebody will be like,
it is.
No, that was the second of the 5.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we were there.
But I know 506 Parachute Infantry was part of what they were.
Yes. So I get there, and Jim was a PT monster, and so he made sure that we always PT'd, and you know, and he took me under his wings, and Master Sergeant Ray Carvalho, he literally took me under his wings and said, I'm going to make you the best airman in our squadron. That's fantastic. I made, Airman of the Year for 14th.
Lucky
for the
you
Air
that you had somebody give a shit about you.
Yeah. It's like, he knew, he just saw something, because I was volunteering for everything.
Oh, good.
I was like, I will do this. I'll do that. Now, my dad didn't like that much. My mom definitely didn't like it. But I said, hey, this is my job.
I mean, for you to get out of that 3 years at Germany, which doesn't sound like it was stellar. It sounded like it was probably tough, mentally, emotionally kind of thing.
It was personally tough. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To come back in and not hang your head and not sulk.
Yes. I wanted to get out there.
Yeah. That's great.
And that's when Carvalho says, okay, I'm sending you to E-Tech school in Herberfield.
And so back when we were talking about, so now you've done your part as TAC P. Mm-hmm. You've put those kind of prereqs in. Now you can qualify, or I don't know if qualify is the right word, but you can get into ETAC now.
Yes.
Now, is ETAC, let's put it this way. If you hadn't gone to ETAC school, would you have been looked badly on?
No.
You know, is this a career progression? Could you have stayed Tech B if you wanted to?
Oh, yes. It's definitely a career progression. That's a great way of looking at it.
Okay.
That's a great way because...
So they don't just send everybody there.
They send you there when you're ready.
Right.
Because you
there's some people who don't get sent.
And I mentioned before that our training is vigorous. You know, so as TAC P, before we were in ETAC, we can call an emergency close air support. It's called ECAS.
Oh, okay.
But that's only if an ETAC's not available. So, and the training that we did, I mean, everything was documented. We're talking every notional. So like we say, you know, cleared hot or cleared dry. Cleared dry meaning that I'm clearing you in, but just don't drop any bombs.
Yeah.
You know, cleared hot meaning that you can drop your bombs. You know, we did all of that, and that was the great thing about Tech P is that they documented everything. Everything that you did. So when I got to Campbell, Sergeant Gavala looked at my stuff and says, I'm sending you to ETAC school right now. Nice. So he sent me out to Herbert Field. And of course, I'm in the class with these officers and, you know, other, and I was a E4 at the time. Go through the school, and that doesn't mean you're qualified to do it yet. Now, when you get back to your unit, you have to go through more training.
Oh, okay. So you got the schoolhouse part out of the way.
I got the schoolhouse part out of the way.
Now you got to get the practical part.
Now I got to get everything else that is required by the unit for me to be actually certified at the time, as an ETAC.
So you went and got to school, and then they shipped you to Kuwait?
Yes. So myself and Tommy Ray, they said, we're going to ship you guys out to Kuwait for kind of cleanup duty, so to speak, after Desert Storm.
So we're talking
94, 95.
Okay.
It was actually at the end of 94. And
so you got there just for all the toxic environment and the oil smoke in the air, and
it was oh my God, there was so many blown up shit out there. It was unbelievable.
Did you see the Highway of Death at all?
Yes, we did.
Oh God!
Went out there.
Was it just like the picture?
It was exactly like it. We're like, oh my God, and we were, you know, I mean, I know some people may think it's a warmonger or us, you know, hungry for war. It's not that. It's like we're trained so much. We know about the tanks and things like that. So we actually go out there and look for these particular tanks. Yeah. We wanted to see a ZSU 23-4. We wanted to see a T-72.
Sure.
You know? Sure. Because the Republican Guard actually is supposed to have T-82s.
I heard that, right.
And we're like, oh, that'd be great to see
one. I don't think we found one,
you know?
Right? I don't think they had any.
And then we get there and it's like, you guys got to watch it. We're like, why? It's like, because we use uranium depleted shells and there's uranium coming out from these things. We're like, we don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to see it. I want to get in there.
Sure.
And, you know, me and Tommy.
Well, Highway of Death, I think, was all done by air, I think.
Yes, it was. It was all done by air, but we did not see what we wanted to see. Oh. It was T-54, 55s.
It's old stuff, right?
Maybe a 62 every now and then. We're like, where's all the good stuff, you know? And
all the old BMPs and the BTRs, none of the new stuff. We didn't see any
of that. We're like, this is all bullshit, you know? And it's like...
It's Korea War era stuff.
Yeah. And then they were actually moving all that stuff to the tank graveyard. Tommy and I was like, hey, let's go to the tank graveyard. And we're like, should we really go there? We're like, well, we could sneak around. You know, it's like, what about the uranium? We're like, who cares?
Yeah,
you know, whatever. You know? So we go around there. We couldn't find anything, you know, and but the great thing is that as we were out there, our primary mission was to Insurer at the time was the USS Independence before it decommissioned, was out there in the Gulf. We would go out there and they would say, hey, we have some munitions that need to be expended.
Oh, yeah.
So we did like 100 tons of munitions in one day.
Helping out EOD and those guys.
Yeah. So we would be driving out and we'll see landmines out there, and there's like, make sure. And this, of course, everybody knows this is the time when the pluggers were just coming.
Oh, the pluggers.
The pluggers.
Pluggers and sluggers. Yeah, I forgot about those.
Yep. The pluggers.
That was the GPS.
It's like, just make sure you mark this.
That's the original version of GPS.
Yeah, it's not the S8 Plus Samsung.
No. This was a cricket phone by comparison.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, we thought the pluggers were the best thing since sliced bread because it hadn't been anything else.
Yeah, there hadn't been anything else, too.
And, they only had like 8 buttons on there.
Right. You didn't have to vehicle
up, down,
mounted.
left, right. We would see a tank kind of like covered in some sand. And it's like, Tommy, is that a T-72 over there? And he's like, ooh, let's go find out. And so I'm walking out over there, and as we're walking, Tommy just grabs my blouse and pulls back. He goes, you better watch where the fuck you're walking. I was like, what? And there was a landmine just right there. I was about to stand on it. Yeah. Now, it was a tank landmine, so I'm not sure if my weight...
Oh, yeah. There's also a metal factor in there, too,
I think, so right? I don't know if I would have set it off, but still...
No need to take a chance.
My heartbeat was going. He goes, just watch where you're going, Kevin. I was like, oh, damn, man. Thank you.
Great that he spotted that.
Oh, but yeah, Tommy is great. Tommy was great. But the point is like, so I wasn't an E-Tech at the time. I was
right. You were still a TAC P.
I was.
You hadn't been certified.
So we're all TAC P still. It's just,
but you hadn't been certified
yet
as a E-Tech.
So we go out there, and Tommy goes, okay. And Tommy was the evaluator. He goes, I'm going to evaluate you right now.
After the landmine.
This is all after all that
starts now.
And this was like I said, a few days later.
Right.
We're sitting there, and it literally was like this. I saw them coming in, and I'm going, and then there was
what was coming in?
There were F-18s.
Okay.
And I'm looking at one, and I'm going, oh, he looks good. All right, roll out. You're cleared hot.
Oh.
And then Tommy goes, abort, fucking abort him. And I just he's the evaluator. Abort.
Yeah.
And then when I said abort, I was not looking at the number 1 shipper. I was looking at the number 2 guy.
Oh.
The number 1 was looking at us. He was about to drop the bombs on us.
Whoa.
And then I just realized when I looked up, I went, holy, because it was a 4 shipper. And we're going, oh my God. And whenever he pulled off is whenever I finally realized I was looking at the wrong ship.
Wow.
And I sat there and literally had a tear come out of the side of my eye.
Yeah.
Because I cleared him hot, and Tommy was of great mind to say, you're looking at the number 2 guy.
Wow.
Abort him now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, thank you, Tommy. And it's like, did I fail? Yeah. We'll do it tomorrow, but you gotta maintain your visual, situation awareness when you got a 4 shipper, because normally it's usually a 2 shipper coming in, but this one was a 4 shipper. So I was looking at the wrong aircraft.
Wow. That's a lesson you never forgot.
Oh my God. Scared the living dog shit out of me. So anyway, so I get E-Tech certified. He went back. We did some training. Everything was good. My first real as an E-Tech, and not Tommy was there. My first one. I don't know why the Independents send them out to us. They were S3 Vikings. Do you know what an S3 Viking is?
Is that the one that with the little hook thing coming out of their nose? Or
no, they are submarine finders.
Oh,
and they came out there to do close air support.
Oh my God, it seems to odd.
They end up bombing a big old herd of camels. I mean, I know I jumped into the story, but I was like, he was right on target. And I was like, you're cleared hot. You're right on the target. And next thing you know, he's still going. I'm going. And these things travel so slow.
Oh, yeah?
Because they're submarine finders.
Are they prop planes?
No.
Oh, okay.
They are just like really slow because they're looking for submarines. And we're sitting there and I go, you're cleared hot. I'm going, drop the bombs. Drop the bombs. And he's not dropping them.
Huh.
I'm looking in front of me at the tanks, but then all of a sudden he passes over the tanks. I'm going, where's he going? And he drops them right on top, right over the tanks, which there's no way the bombs are going to get there. It's going to fly way over the tanks.
Because of the
and physics. I look over way to the left, and there's a herd of camel over there, and he bombs the freaking camels.
Did you ever find out why
We're like, okay, guys, you are not doing close air support ever again. Get off my range. You're done, man. You are so done. So, and then we contacted the captain on the Independence, and it's like, please don't ever send us.
Why did they do that? They just
wanted
burning fuel or something.
They were trying to get rid of a lot of munitions.
Oh, I got you.
And they were just like, hey, let's just send these.
So
guys
they have these
out
pilots are like, hey, we'll go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. All right. So we had a lot more experiences out there. And I promise you, Tommy has a lot more stories.
I want you to tell me when you were part of the Airborne Battlefield Command Control Center, right? And this was after
ABCC.
This was after your Fort Campbell assignment, or
this was during my Fort Campbell assignment. Yep.
So you went as part of the ABCC to Bosnia.
That is correct.
But you were also the first one in that conflict to call in airstrikes.
That is correct.
I want to hear you tell me that story.
Well, let's make sure that we get this straight. It wasn't that I was the first one authorizing the actual bombing within Bosnia.
Yeah, right.
So,
but you were the first one off of that platform.
At that platform to authorize the actual bombing.
Had anybody ever done that before?
I don't know, but this was in Tuzla, Bosnia.
Okay.
This is before we actually took over Tuzla in 1997, 98. The only reason why I know that because I was in Tuzla in 97, 98.
Really?
But I went to the Combined Air Operations Center in Dahlgren, Italy.
Okay.
We also went up into ABCCC to help them out. So because
which was a C-130 loaded with comm gear and everything else
over the Adriatic Sea, just doing a wheel over the Adriatic Sea, just going round and round and round. This is at the time when Serbian forces actually took over a town. I had to get permission to authorize it from the KAOK in Dahlgren, but the ground forces person actually called me up and says that we actually have a lot of tanks here that they're not supposed to be here.
Wow.
Also the great thing is, like, at the time we had AWACS as well, which if anybody doesn't know, it's an airborne warning platform that can see the entire battlefield. Yeah. They see everything.
And all they do is just orbit up there for hours.
Orbit AWACS, and they just say, yes, I see them. And we're like, we're the nearest ground forces, and they're like 2 kilometers away.
And we didn't have much ground forces.
We did not
at that time, right?
Not at the time. And I just remember that. I don't remember his call sign. He was a ground guy, and he goes, yes, they are just annihilating this town.
Wow. Yeah, because we were just observers, right?
Yeah, we were just observers. We were not allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, that was a religious war, you know.
It was, and UN hadn't committed to any. No. They were just peacekeepers, I think, or something to that effect.
All we did was just. Yeah. It was a very very frustrating for me at the time because I'm going, God, I just would love to be over there because I want to do this. I want to help them out because all they want is just religious freedom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they give me a call and there were like 8, 9 tanks. There was a lot of infantry on the ground and everything, and they were just doing things that they weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
And they gave me a call to let me know. So I contacted the KOC. And when I contacted the KOC and gave them all the information, exactly what they're requesting and everything, and it took them like 30, 45 minutes. Wow. And then I was like, because I really think they're like, we got to talk about this. We just can't just go in and just do this. You know, it's like, we just can't authorize it. Anyway, come back and says, we have 2 ship A-10s coming in at this time. They gave me the coordinates. They gave me for the contact point and the initial point, pass it on and everything. And the great thing is that us being in ABCCC, we can hear everything. Yeah. Because we're way up there. Yeah. We can hear everything. Because UHF is the line of sight. I can hear everything. Right. Those A-10s went in there, and I'm telling you that ground controller, I don't know who he was. Uh-huh. And I was talking to AWACS at the time. They literally saying, they're literally telling me, oh my God, wow, wow.
As it's happening.
It's like, wow, those A-10s are on target. Oh my God. That JTAC in the forward area, he did a phenomenal job. And you know, I'm not trying to say that I don't want to be at the time I was like, yeah. But at the same time, there was probably a lot of lives that were saved.
Well, sure. But as far as mission accomplishment, it was doing what you're supposed to do.
The BDA, which is the
battlefield
damage assessment, was, I think there was like 8 tanks there. I think 6 of them were destroyed. There was, I can't tell you how many infantry troops.
Well, did I misbill it by saying that you were the first one to call that in? Or did you coordinate it?
I was the coordination. I was the coordination person for it.
Apologies.
That was the coordination part of it. But the thing is that like I didn't get into Bosnia until 2 years later
on another deployment.
Yeah, I know, on another deployment. Yeah. Yes. So
wow, that's
wonderful. But I think the great thing, Marty, is that I thought that the Bosnian War was a so unnecessary war.
Well, sure,
it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it seems odd that whole piece, and I don't know enough about it other than we just provided air support, and just two groups of people just kill each other.
Yeah, it was all about religion, and I never understood that.
It's still, there's no settled feelings still.
No,
between those two. So.
Even whenever I went back there years later, the horrific things that I seen, because there were so many landmines there.
They mined the crap out of it.
And for people, that's whenever Princess Di was out trying to outrule to get rid of landmines and everything. Yeah. Because so many people were dying from these landmines.
I want to close this because I know you got your reunion coming up.
Yes. So
tell me about your Doofer book.
Oh my God!
How do you spell that Doofer book?
It's Doofer.
Oh, that's how you spell it.
Doofer.
Okay, so Doof.
All right, I got as in a Doofer book.
I might call your episode the Doofer book because that's so good.
I'm telling you, I believe that any person, TACP person, knows what the Doofer book is. I don't know if it's allowed anymore, and if it is, it's highly secretive.
Well, tell me about
Jughead. Oh, God, Jim is like the best guy in the world. So first, let me say that the Doofer book definitely had some things about me in it.
Okay.
And Phil.
It's a good humility thing.
If Phil will regardless what he put in there, I didn't do it, but he still put something in there, which I thought it was hilarious. And I didn't know it was about me until he told me about it later, but we'll go somewhere else with that at another time. But anyway, so we are in Kuwait, And of course, there is a Doofer Book in Kuwait. You got to have a Doofer Book because everybody does stupid shit.
Sure.
And so our big thing is that in our huts in Kuwait, there's no restroom around the corner. There's no restroom right there. So you literally got to walk like a quarter mile to get to the latrine. And they specifically tell you, don't piss outside of your door.
That's
right. Because we don't want shit stinking up and anything.
So did they have like pallet paths, or was it just dirt?
It was just dirt going around.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
So you got to put your boots on.
Yeah, you got to put your boots on. You actually got to get dressed. Oh. You got to put everything on to just to go take a whiz. So, but the great thing is that they always, besides of having our canteen, they gave us these huge, like liter bottles. I think maybe 2-liter bottles. I'm not sure how big they were, but it was just a bottle that we drank all the time. Right. We didn't have to do it for the canteens, but we saved the bottles.
Of course.
Why do we save the bottles? Because when you get up at 2:00 in the morning and after drinking water all day long, sometimes you don't want to put on all that shit. You want to piss into the bottle.
Of course.
Well, I get up at like 2:00 in the morning and of course I have to piss. I don't want to put on my boots, everything. So I get out one of the empty bottles that I had and I'm tired and I'm trying to aim for that hole.
You gotta aim that, right?
You gotta aim, and there's no lights on because it was like a huge bay, and it's like you just gotta guess where you're aiming. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to piss into this bottle, and I'm pissing all over my hands. I'm pissing on the floor, and I'm going. I mean, to me, it was really worth it. Pissing on my hands, besides of putting all my shit to walk all the way down the latrine.
You get 90% of it in that bottle.
Yeah, most of it. Good. So the next morning we get up, we go in a little day room and everything, and I was like, God, I cannot believe I pissed all over my hands. Jughead goes, what do you mean? And I was like, dude, I had to get up at 2:00 in the morning and piss into the water bottle. And it was me, Tommy Ray, and a few other guys. Jughead looks over at us and goes, well, why don't you just do what I do? And we're like, what? He goes, just put your dick in the hole. And we're like, what? Yours fits? Yours actually fits in that hole? And he just like looks up at us and going, oh my God, did I just say that? So we are laughing our asses off. And then of course there's the Doofer Book right there. We had this perfect artist that
he could draw.
Oh. And he drew the perfect water bottle, and he drew Jughead to a T inside the water bottle with a little bitty dick pissing inside of the jug. So God. I don't know if that Doofer Book still exists, but if it does, please, anybody, you got to bring that out because it was the funniest shit you'll ever see in your life. But there are a lot of Doofer Books out there. I'm telling you, you can go anywhere from Fort Carson, Polk, Campbell, really? Anywhere you will find a Doofer Book.
How many are you in?
I know for a fact I'm in 2.
2?
2 of them.
Wow, okay.
I know. If you want to know the first one, I can tell you.
Okay, let's have it.
Okay.
I mean, Jughead would appreciate you being a little.
I will be honest about it because I promise you, I have no idea where Phil actually got this. I have no idea.
Okay,
so I'll start off with the way it happened to me. We come back from a deployment when we're in Germany, and I open up the Doofer Book. And of course, that's our thing. It's just like, well, what's new today? Who wrote something in here? You know, it's kind of like a newspaper. You know, it's like, what's new today? And I get to a page and I try to open up the page, but it's kind of glued. 2 pages are glued together.
Huh.
But in the middle of it, so you can only open up a little bit of it. And I'm going, what the hell is this? But then on the front page of it, it says, you know what? Masturbation is a part of every man's life. I truly believe that masturbation should continue a part of a man's life. And we should not condemn anybody who masturbate. And it stops right there. Masturbate and ... And then when you open up the page where it's glued together, it says, no, fuck that. We're talking about sperm in the workplace. Dunaway, make sure you never beat off, while we're deployed. We're talking about sperm in the work area. And I'm going, what the hell is he talking about? So apparently this is about me. I was like, What are you talking about? Masturbating and on deployment. He goes, Kevin, I walked in, I picked up a towel. And I threw it to you and you grabbed it and you threw it in the corner because it was all sticky. And I was like, I don't remember that. So he automatically thought that I ejaculated into a towel.
You had a cum ring.
In a mobile flex. But the thing is, it was his comment in the Doofer book was so funny.
Yeah.
I just let it go.
That's pretty creative.
It was very creative what he did. And I was like, I didn't do it. And even to this day, I'm 50 years old. If I tell you if I would do something, I would tell you, but I don't know where he got that from, but it was a great story in the Doofer book.
So even the false accusations are worth a read.
They are absolutely worth the read. And God, Phil will laugh his ass off. Even Mike and all of them, they will just laugh their ass. That was a great entry. But yes, that was one of my entries about me masturbating on a deployment in a mobile flex, which I never did, but okay. But we'll go on.
Maybe debatable.
Yeah. And what I'm worried about is that now my daughter is going to listen to this and
and she'll be like,
okay,
he's not the man I thought he was.
Masturbating in a mobile flex. Oh my God.
Well, she wants the truth.
Hey. That's what TACP is all about. Hey, you take the good with the bad, That's
a perfect way to end it. That is a perfect way to end it.
That's awesome, man.
Retired Master Sergeant Kevin Dunaway, it's been an honor to have you here today.
Marty, it's been great.
Thank you very much for your story.
Thank you, man.
On behalf of Kevin, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, please leave a like and/or comment. And as always, make sure to download the next episode for more service origin stories. So until next time, on your feet, fall out!